Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 5th HTML video tutorial here at beginnertask.com. Today I'm going to be teaching you about tables. In HTML, tables are extremely useful. You can use tables for organizing your data and content. You can also insert pictures in tables, and you can even create whole website layouts using tables. Making a website layout using tables is, however, a pretty old-fashioned way of doing it. Instead, you should be using div tags, and I will also be showing you how to do that in some later tutorials. Okay, so in order to create a table, we'll need to make a table tag, and that tag is actually pretty straightforward. It's look like this, table like this, and that is the opening tag, and we also need to close it. A table consists of rows and data. Therefore, we need to use two tags, table row tags and data tags. So first we'll make a table row tag. It looks like this, tr for table row. Within the table row we would like to add some data. So we'll make a tag called table data, like that. Between these table data tags we will need to add some content, the content that we want to have in our table. So I'm just gonna call this row 1 data 1. Let's try viewing this in the browser. As you can see, it types out row 1 data 1, but it's kind of hard to see where the actual table is located. So I'm gonna go into my HTML document and add an attribute to my table element. The attribute is called border, and we want the border to be 1. Whoops, like that. The larger the number on your border, the thicker the border will become. So let's view it in the browser now. As you can see, we're now able to see where the table is located. Let's try adding some more table data. So I'll jump in here and I'll just copy this one. It is still row 1, but now it's data 2. I'll save it and look at it in the browser. And as you can see, we now got one more data set. It is still the same row, but we got one more data set in that specific row. But let's try adding another row. So instead of writing too much, I'll just copy this and I'll delete this one. And now it's row 2 data 1. I'll save it and view it in the browser. And as you can see, we have now added another row. Only this time we only have one data in that row. So we have a blank space out here. Let's say that I wanted to write some more text in one of my table datas. Then the table would expand according to the size of the text. In the same way it would contract according to the size of the text or the data. It is possible to control the size of the table and also style it in different ways, but you need to use CSS for that. And I will also be showing you that in the CSS tutorials. Now you may be thinking, what about this blank area? Can I do something about that? And the answer to that is yes. Let me show you. If I want row 2 to cover the blank space as well, I could go in to my HTML code and I will jump into my table data, and here I would use an attribute called colspan. And I will set that to 2 because I want it to span across 2 columns. So let's look at this in the browser. As you can see, row 2 has now filled in the blank space, so it now covers 2 rows. If I instead want row 1 data 2 to cover the blank space, I could do like this. First I would go in here, delete the colspan, and I will go into my table data row 1 data 2, and I will add an attribute called rowspan. And I'll also set that to 2. Let's look at this in the browser. As you can see, row 1 data 2 now has a span of 2 rows, so it covers the blank space. So remember, row span is for vertical span, while column span or col span is for horizontal spans. And then I want to show you a final thing, and that is how to make a table inside a table. Let's say that I want to make a small table inside this area. So I'll jump into my HTML document. This was the area where I wanted my second table. So I'll just delete this. And in here I'll just do the same as before. I'll start up by making a table, opening tag and a closing tag. I'll just copy the border right here. And then I'll make my table rows and my table datas. I'll make 2 table datas. I'll just call them 1 and 2. So we now have a table inside a table data. Let's look at it in the browser. As you can see, we now have the table in here. So if you want to, you can make another table inside this little table, and you can actually continue to do that as much as you want. And that was pretty much it for today. If you have any questions or comments, please visit beginnertask.com, where you will also find a lot of other interesting videos. If you want the codes that I have been writing in this video, you can also find them at beginnertask.com. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you soon.